mapabahay man, kami pa rin ang inyong number one. Ang inyong himpilan, ang inyong tahanan.
Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This is koolNews at 6 from the station that cares for you. I am Cairo as we are live on 99.5 Cool FM Regional, News Radio 93.1, and live streaming on TVH News YouTube channels. Let's begin with our top stories. The Commission on Elections said it will ask for contractors to explain their site for alleged prohibited campaign contributions, its chairman George Eric Garcia said. The matter regarding contractor service as President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and senators have revealed up numerous flood control projects across the country. Garcia said they received a tip that these four governors are giving campaign contributions to certain politicans. He then noted that Section 95C of the Omnibus Election Code prohibits campaign contribution from natural and judicial persons who hold contracts or subcontracts to supply the government or any of its divisions, subdivisions, or instrumentalities with goods or services or to perform construction or other works. Garcia said during an interview with One News on Thursday, "We will have to write a letter addressed, for example, to the contractor for the contractors to explain their site." Meanwhile, Garcia noted that so far, the law only applies to natural and judicial campaign contributors. So I will not go to the extent of saying and determining whether the liability, the culpability extends to the candidate. In the meantime, what really the culpability and the liability covers the contractor or the one who gave the contribution or donation to the government or to the candidate, he said. So as to whether it extends to candidates, then we will make the necessary correction later, he added. And it's time for the typhoon updates as tropical depression Isang, or weather update rather, is currently within the vicinity of Mandela, Quirino, the National Weather Bureau said Friday afternoon. Based on its 2 p.m. bulletin, the Philippine Atmosphere, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or shortened as Term Pagasa, said tropical depression Isang maintained its strength, packing a maximum sustained wind speed of 55 km per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 90 km per hour. It is currently moving west-northwestward at 20 km per hour. Signal number 1 was raised in 16 areas in Luzon, which are Cagayan, Isabela, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Apayao, Kalinga, Abra, Mountain Province, Ifugao, Benguet, Ilos Norte, Ilos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Ora, northern portion of Nueva Ecija. Isang is also intensifying the southwest monsoon, locally known as Habagat, which will bring storm to gale force the gusts over the following areas, especially in coastal and upland areas exposed to the winds this Friday, which are Metro Manila, Zambales, Bataan, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Comayasor, Camarines Norte, Comayasor, Catanduanes, Burias Island, West Visayas, Negros Island region, Central Visayas, Dinagat Islands, Soriente, Surigao del Norte, Caminguin. According to Pagasa, tropical depression Isang will transverse northern Luzon in the next 12 hours and emerge over the West Philippine Sea this Friday evening. The Weather Bureau likewise noted that Isang may intensify into a tropical storm on Saturday morning and may reach the severe tropical storm category while approaching the watershed of Hainan, China. However, intensification into a tropical storm at a much earlier time, for example several hours after emerging over the West Philippine Sea, is not ruled out, Pagasa added. Tropical Depression Isang is expected to exit the Philippine area of responsibility on Saturday morning or afternoon. And as for the canceled flights due to the Tropical Depression Isang, here are the following flights. For Cebu Pacific Air, for CEB 506, CEB 508, Manila to Bukidnon, CEB 507 and CEB 509, Bukidnon to Manila, and for CEB 196, Manila to Cagayan, and CEB 197, Cagayan to Manila. Meanwhile, the following are the flights that were diverted due to the inclement weather. For Philippine Airlines, we have GAP 2957 going from Manila to Cotabato, which diverted back to Manila, and GAP 2963 going from Manila to Busuanga, also diverted back to Manila. And for SEPGO, SQR 6068, Mactan to Busuanga, diverted back to Mactan. According to the ACAP, a total of 1,090 passengers were affected by the flight disruptions. Passengers are advised to coordinate with their respective airlines for updated flight information and rebooking concerns, the ACAP said. The Aviation Authority added that it continues to closely monitor weather developments and remains in active coordination with airline operators and airport authorities to ensure the safety and welfare of the traveling public. Former Vice President Jejoman Binay and his son, former Makati Mayor Junjun Binay, along with 22 others, were acquitted by the Sandigan Bayan of graft, falsification of public documents, and malversation of public funds related to the 2.2 billion peso Makati Car Park building. During the case promulgation on Friday, the anti-graft court said the prosecution failed to prove the guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Aside from the Binays, below is the City Hall officials and 2 other individuals acquitted in the 2.2 billion peso Makati Car Park building case, which are a lot of them. Both Binays were co-accused in the 2.2 billion peso of Makati Car Park building case. The elder Binay was formally charged after he stepped down from his post and his defeat in the 2016 presidential elections. The former vice president was specifically charged with breaking the first 3 phases of the building when he was Makati mayor, while his son was charged with phases 4 and 5 of the building when he succeeded his father in the city hall. The younger Binay's first charge involved the contract for phase 4 of the construction with Hillmarks despite the absence of the project's accepted and approved plans and specifications, as well as the failure of Hillmarks to post its performance security. He reportedly approved the release of the 649.2 million pesos for the contract to Hillmarks, even though the accomplishment report was baseless and the supporting documents had deficiencies. The younger Binay's second grave charge involved the contract for phase 5 of the project, wherein he released a 141.6 million pesos payment for the contract to Hillmarks, even though once again the accomplishment report was baseless and the supporting documents had deficiencies. On the other hand, his charges for falsification of public documents stem from his alleged role in falsifying a July 7, 2011 issue of Balita newspaper, as well as an affidavit of publication to make it appear that an invitation to apply for eligibility and the bid was published. Binay Jr. had been ordered dismissed and perpetually barred from public office by the Ombudsman over administrative offenses of misconduct and dishonesty concerning the issues surrounding the Makati Car Park building case. And before we head on to the break, 10 officials from the Department of Public Works and Highways 1st District Engineering Office in Bulacan have been relieved from their posts pending an investigation into alleged ghost projects in the province, Public Works Secretary Manuel Bonon said on Friday. This development followed reports on the existence of such projects in some districts, which Bonon confirmed during a Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing on Tuesday. During a phone interview with Inquirer.net, Bonon said that officials were not fired but were placed on floating status for the time being. The DPWH Regional Office has been overseeing the district office since the officials were relieved almost 3 weeks ago, he also said. Among those relieved were former District Engineer Henry Alcantara and newly appointed District Engineer Chris Hernandez. Alcantara had earlier been recommended for the position of Assistant Regional Director of TVH Region 4A. Bonoan said the recommendation for the new post came before he was released from duty. He said it actually went through the process, his full qualifications. He was recommended because he applied. The relief officials, along with the contractors involved in the alleged ghost projects, are also said to face sanctions from the DBWH. Bonoan said he had already issued a memorandum requiring the officials to explain their site, adding that if the explanations are not found convincing, the necessary charges will be filed. They will be charged. We are just collating the documents. 2 days ago, I already issued the memorandum to explain. I gave them 3 days to explain, and if we find it not convincing, we have to file the necessary charges, Bonoan said. He further said more officials could eventually be relieved from the post once the government completes its report on these bogus projects. It is now 6:13 p.m. as we will be returning with more news headlines on koolNews at 6. Stay along with us. We will be right back after these messages.
Ang number 1 floor wax. May waterproof formula. Buhusan man ang tubig, balikin tabang sahig.
Star Wax Wax. Kinang na to the max, max, max.
Star Wax Floor Wax. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS.
Are you looking for a place to cool yourself down? Do you wish to find refresher that pops? Then go visit Soda Pop. Pop the party with flavor with Soda Pop. Located in the city of Taguig, Soda Pop brings you an alternative to those average milk tea shops that's too expensive. They have a wide variety of flavors including strawberry, blueberry, green apple, raspberry, to name a few. They also have 2 sizes to choose from, perfect for every scenario. Whether you can drink and chill at home or bond with your friends, Soda Pop is here to stay. Price starts at 39 pesos SRP, so you don't need to worry about your pockets going empty. So, choose Soda Pop. Pop the party with flavor, where every sip is a celebration. Heads up, karaoke fans! We just dropped volume 174. Packed with monthly hottest new songs you've been waiting for. Whether you're a karaoke pro or just love to sing your heart out at home, we've got you covered. Available now on DVD, SD card, and fast, easy online updates for Utopia and Utopia Plus. No lags, no limits, just pure karaoke fun. Anytime, anywhere. Bring your karaoke nights to life. Only with Shanitron Synth Plus. Reimagine karaoke with XTSP.
Song lists are now available at shanetronsinplus.blogspot.com.
Girl, utang mo.
Ha? Wala akong utang sa'yo, no?
Hindi sa akin. Yung utang mo sa tulog.
Ha?
Isang oras lang ng tulog ang kulangin, 4 na oras ang kailangang bawiin. Sabi ni Doc, kukulangin ng immunity. Mag-Immune Pro everyday. Tulong pampalakas ng immunity with proper diet and exercise.
Girl, pautang.
Ano bibilin mo?
Ano pa? Di Immune Pro.
Immune Pro, the most doctor-prescribed vitamin C and zinc brand. Source IQVIA PMDI 20 years old and up. 2nd Sem 2024.
Unilab yan.
Ascorbic acid zinc is the generic name of Immune Pro. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Pull it off, off. Pull it off, off. And put it off, off. Put it off.
Shield moments from dengue mosquitoes. Apply before they bite.
Off, number 1 insect repellent brand in the Philippines.
Bago to?
Bago to? Bago to?
Bago to?
Bago to?
Uy, bago to.
Bago to?
Bago to?
Lahat magugulat sa bagong sarap ng Nescafe Creamy White. Sarap ng Nescafe with leveled up creaminess from Nestle Milk.
Ang creamy.
Ang creamy.
Creamy nito.
Ang creamy.
Creamy.
Super creamy.
Talaga? Lipat na.
Lipat na.
Lipat na.
Lipat na. Lipat na. Lipat na. Kaya lipat na sa new leveled up Nescafe Creamy White.
Level up na with new Nescafe Creamy White.
Here's a DOH reminder for your health to do your part.
Bago bumiyahe, dapat full gear on palagi. Helmet para sa nakamotorsiklo. Check. Seatbelt para sa nakasasakyan. Check. Car seat para sa mga bata. Check. Ang pagsuot ng tama at aprobadong mga safety gears ay nakakabawas ng panganib ng maluwang pinsala o pagkamatay. Ito po si SecTed nagpapaalala mula sa Department of Health.
Nawawala ang stress kapag refreshing breaks halika na. I can't wait to be with you. San Miguel flavored beer na to. Apple lemon lychee, refreshing di sweet na gusto ko. Apple lemon lychee, San Miguel flavored beer na to.
Enjoy the refreshing sweet flavors of San Miguel flavored beer, apple, lemon, and lychee with just the right beer buzz.
San Miguel flavored beer na to. Life refreshingly sweet with San Miguel flavored beer.
Drink responsibly.
Cool FM.
First with us right here on koolNews at 6. It is now 6:18 p.m. And as for the class suspensions, today, due to the bad weather, several local government units or LGUs have suspended classes for Friday, August 22 to the summit weather brought by Tropical Depression Isang and the enhanced southwest monsoon, locally known as Habagat. The following areas have suspended classes today. For Metro Manila, for NCR, Muntinlupa City, all levels, face-to-face classes, public and private. For Anoque and Las Piñas City, all levels, public and private. City of Manila from 12 p.m. Also as Pasay City, all levels, face-to-face classes. For Manila, public and private. Same for Plaza City. Taguig City, Caloocan City, Malabon, Novota City, afternoon classes and face-to-face classes for Mandaluyong City, all levels, public and private. San Juan City, from 12 p.m., all levels, public and private. Marikina City, afternoon classes, all levels, public and private. Venezuela City, Pasig City, afternoon face-to-face classes, kinder to senior high school, public and private. Makati City, afternoon classes, daycare to senior high school, public and private. And for there's a note there, universities and colleges were given the discretion to suspend classes. And for Patrios, afternoon classes, all levels, public and private. For Albay, the whole entire province, all levels, public face-to-face classes, public and private. Laguna, Apuyao City, all levels, public and private. Pagsanjan, all levels, public and private. Pila, preschool to senior high school, face-to-face classes, public and private. Santa Rosa, preschool to senior high school, face-to-face classes, public. While private schools were given the discretion to suspend in-person classes. For Rizal, Jala, all levels face-to-face classes, public and private. Sorsogon, Castilla, all levels public and private. And Quezon, for Malcalelon, all levels public and private. Excuse me. The League of Cities of the Philippines and Association of the country's city mayors has called for transparency and accountability through a full government accounting and performance review of all flood control projects. In a statement on Friday, San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora, LCD President, said the league fully supports the ongoing investigation into the alleged abnormalities involving the so-called ghost flood control projects nationwide. Zamora said the President for the Marcos Jr. statement in his recent State of the Nation address, in which he described this dismal state of flood control initiatives as a long-standing failure that continues to endanger Philippine lives. Zamora said, "We city mayors have witnessed firsthand these alarming events that cause our constituents to suffer for loss of life and livelihood, the disruptions in children's education, as well as increased health risks such as leptospirosis brought about by unmitigated flooding," Zamora said. The LCP urged relevant agencies in the national government to cooperate fully and report truthfully on the actual status of these infrastructure programs. It is imperative to put an end to corrupt and ineffective practices and instead pursue long-term solutions to flooding that are both effective and sustainable, Zamora emphasized. Science and technology already offer viable strategies particularly when aligned with climate change adoption and sub-city planning, he added. Samaral said the LCP remains actively involved and welcomes the support from all sectors, including the private sector, to help mitigate flooding. The government is currently investigating the alleged ghost projects following President Marcos' recent revelation that about 20% of the entire 545 billion peso budget for flood mitigation projects was awarded to just 15 contractors. Public Works Secretary Manuel Bonon has also confirmed the existence of ghost flood control projects in sub-districts of Bulacan, saying that the investigation is ongoing. A magnitude 4.7 earthquake joined the province of Davao Oriental on Friday afternoon, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PhilVolc, said. In its latest bulletin, the PhilVolc said the earthquake, which was tectonic in origin, occurred at 3:08 p.m. PhilVolc reported intensities in the following areas. For intensity 2, we have Caraga, Paganga, Catel, Manay, and Tarragona, Davao Oriental, New Bataan, Nabuntaran, Mawab, Lac, Macau, Mabini, Pantukan, Maragusan, Compostela, Monte Vista, and Moncayo, Davao de Oro, City of Bislig, Surigao del Sur, Malungon, and Saragani. For intensity 1, we have Malapatan and Saragani. Meanwhile, instrumental intensities were recorded in the following areas. We have for intensity 2, City of Digos, Davao del Sur, Naputuran, Davao de Oro, Malugon, and Sarangani. For intensity 1, we have Matanao, Davao del Sur, Don Marcelino, Davao Occidental, City of Davao, Alabel, Sarangani, City of Los Santos, Tupi, Sor Cotabato, City of Kitapawan, Cotabato, City of Islik, and Surigao del Sur. PhilVolc noted that no aftershocks or damage to properties are expected from the tremor. Police arrested the second suspect in the theft of Commission on Elections Chairperson George Garcia's bag, the Southern Police District said. According to the SPD, 6 individuals stole Garcia's belongings while he was at a restaurant along Roxas Boulevard in Barangay 10, Pasay City on Tuesday afternoon. The first of the 6 suspects was arrested on Wednesday. In a statement on Friday, the SPD said police arrested the second suspect, whom they identified as Rao Rao, late Thursday afternoon in Molino First in Bacor, Cavite. The operation was facilitated by confidential information regarding the suspect's whereabouts. Further investigation and positive identification by a witness who was present during the initial crime were crucial in locating alias Rao Rao, the SPD explained. Rara was taken into custody of the Pasay City of Police and underwent inquest proceedings on Thursday night. The remaining 4 suspects were still being pursued by office, the SPD stressed. Excuse me. And now for the international headlines. President Lee Jae-myung has said he will pursue a 3-stage denuclearization plan for North Korea, with still approaching such a strategy via active efforts for dialogue with Pyongyang based on the solid alliance with the United States. In an interview with Japan's Yomiuri Shimbun ahead of his visit to Tokyo for summit talks with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, Lee said he will seek to freeze North Korea's nuclear and missile programs in the first stage. In the second and final stage, Lee said he will seek to reduce and dismantle North Korea's nuclear program, according to a script of the interview provided by the presidential office. South Korea, while maintaining close coordination with the U.S., will actively pursue inter-Korean dialogue to establish conditions for the goal, Lee told the Japanese newspaper. It was the first time that Lee, who took office in early June, announced the 3-stage plan to persuade North Korea to eliminate its nuclear weapons program. In recent days, North Korea has rebuffed Lee's peace overtures, saying that Seoul could not be a diplomatic partner of Pyongyang. After holding summit talks with Ishiba, Lee will head for Washington to hold his first and high-stakes summit with U.S. President Donald Trump on August 25. In an interview, Lee also proposed developing an Arctic shipping route as a potential area of cooperation among the two Koreas, the US, Japan, and Russia, according to a summary of the interview released by his office. On relations with Japan, Lee said his government will uphold past agreements on the issues of wartime forced labor and former sex slave for Japanese troops, euphemistically called comfort women. It is very difficult for the South Korean people to accept these agreements, he said in the interview. But as they are the promises made between countries, it will be undesirable to overturn them. Although Lee had previously criticized the agreements, he said that as president he intends to honor them in the interest of bilateral relations, noting his dual responsibility to ensure policy consistency and maintain national trust, while also considering the views of the Korean public, victims, and their relieved families. He also expressed hope that Seoul and Tokyo can confront painful historical issues squarely and move relations forward. And finally, we will head over to showbiz. Chris Aquino revealed she recently underwent surgical procedures as her medical team started a more aggressive treatment to keep her alive amid her 11 autoimmune diseases. The Queen of All Media documented her recent hospitalization through a video on her Instagram page on Friday, August 22, sharing her request to her doctors. I asked my team of doctors to please get my surgical procedures done before August 21, she said, referring to the death anniversary of her dad, former Senator Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr. While Chris did not expound on the first surgical procedure she underwent, she shared she had another procedure done for the placement of her port cod. Port of cod, according to the National Cancer Institute, is a device usually placed under the skin in the right side of the chest and is attached to the catheter that is threaded into a large vein above the right side of the heart. This is used to administer medications, fluids, or to draw bloods. While writing, this happy tears are flowing because I'm remembering how much our mom endured for us. She continued, referring to her late mom, former President Corazon Aquino. She also had port a cat surgically implanted, yet we had never heard her complain, and she didn't have a pain management doctor. Chris then reiterated her son's jaws and pimpy as the reason why she continues to endure. It's very difficult to be as brave as my dad and my mom because I know this is just the beginning of more aggressive treatment to keep me alive and get me to a point of remission, she said. My doctors have the next 6 months while I am in isolation to figure out the best treatment plan for someone with as many allergies to medicine, food, and the environment, she stated. For me, it's rehabilitation physical therapy, resuming my love for cooking with an assistant, and another tutorial-based activity because one is never too old to continue stimulating the brain. Concluding her post, Chris said she made the new hashtag #LoveOnChris as a reminder of her gratitude to those who continually pray for her healing. And before we go, starting tonight at 9:30 p.m., koolNews Primetime is moving from 11 p.m. and 12 midnight to 9:30 p.m. So I repeat, we will now have a primetime newscast that will air at 9:30 p.m. earlier after the respective Cool FM program. And in today's case, it will be the replay of the Jimmy Show. So you will get to hear koolNews Primetime later at 9:30 p.m. after the replay of the Jimmy Show. And that is all for koolNews at 6. We will be back later at a new time slot of koolNews Primetime at 9:30 p.m. You can also send us your comments, suggestions, and feedback to our email at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. This has been koolNews at 6. I'm Cairo. Up next, it's the Bayan Cuatro +2. Also on this early time slot. We will see you later. Good evening.